What is up, everybody? JT Dangerous here once again. I am back for my Week 8 NFL predictions. Now, Week 7 just ended with the Atlanta Falcons defeating the New York Giants tonight on Monday Night Football. So Week 7 is in the books, and now we're into Week 8 of the NFL season. So I'm very excited to do these Week 8 NFL predictions for you guys, and I hope you guys do enjoy. Now, our record coming into Week 8 after a very good Week 7, we went 10-4. So our overall record coming in is 46-2. So we're coming in hot. We haven't had a losing record since Week 3, and I'm looking to keep it that way. So hopefully in this video we will continue the winning ways. We're on a 4-week winning streak. Hopefully in this video we're going to make it 5. Now, if you have not checked out my 2 other videos I put up on the channel today, definitely go check them out. My World Series predictions are also up on the channel, so hopefully you guys will be able to watch all of these videos. As always, show your support by watching these videos, super kicking those like buttons and hitting that notification bell, and commenting your picks, your opinions, and representing your NFL team in the comment section down below. Now, if this is your first time watching my channel, as a first time viewer, and this is your first video, boy, pick to go in if you're a huge NFL fan like myself and you're ready for Week 8 of the NFL season. Welcome to the Dangerous Lions. I am JT Dangerously. Welcome to the club, because this club is 2. Whoop, whoop, again, thank you guys so very much. Now, other than that, let's get right into these Week 8 predictions. Now, starting off with the buys first. Now, if you have a fantasy football team on Yahoo or ESPN or NFL, definitely have your team ready to go if you have buys. Now, the buys are for the Atlanta Falcons, the Dallas Cowboys, which they desperately need, the Los Angeles Chargers, and the Tennessee Titans. So if you have any players on any of those 4 teams, definitely have suitable replacements so you'll be ready for your next fantasy football matchup. Now let's start off on Thursday Night Football with the Miami Dolphins heading to Houston to face the Houston Texans. Now the Miami Dolphins are coming off their loss on Sunday to the Detroit Lions. Brock Osweiler did have a pretty solid game, 239 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. Danny Amendola, the former Patriot, 84 yards receiving and a touchdown, and also Kenny Stills with a receiving touchdown. But they fell short, and they also lost the lead in the AFC East to my New England Patriots. So Miami's looking to rebound and bounce back. The only other side, you have the Houston Texans coming off their big win over the Jacksonville Jaguars on Sunday. Deshaun Watson had a pretty solid game with 139 yards passing and 1 touchdown. Lamar Miller, the former Dolphin, with over 100 yards rushing and a touchdown. DeAndre Hopkins with 30 yards and a touchdown. And Houston's looking to get another big win. So coming from me in this matchup on Thursday Night Football, I guess fool's gold when it comes to Brock Osweiler. 1 week he's great. The next week he's somewhat okay. So coming from me in this matchup, I'm going to go with Deshaun Watson and the Houston Texans to defeat the Miami Dolphins on Thursday Night Football. And now the Sunday slate, which starts again at 6:30 here on the West Coast, 9:30 on the East Coast, because this game will be in London, pitting the Philadelphia Eagles facing the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, the Philadelphia Eagles are coming off their heartbreaking loss to the Carolina Panthers on Sunday. They had that game, but they fell short in the end. Carson Wentz had a solid game with over 310 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. Alshon Jeffrey with 88 yards and a touchdown, and Zach Ertz with 138 yards, but they fell short to the Carolina Panthers in the 4th quarter. And Philadelphia is looking to rebound and bounce back in London. Then on the other side, you have the Jacksonville Jaguars coming off another big loss to the Houston Texans on Sunday, and this team is going in the complete opposite direction. They are far from the team we saw last year. They are really bad. And in that game against Houston, they benched Blake Bortles for Cody Kessler, a former player. I can't remember where he played. I think he played at USC. Correct me if I'm wrong, folks. He only had 156 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. TJ Yeldon had a receiving touchdown, and they also signed Carlos Hyde from Cleveland. They traded for Carlos Hyde because of the Leonard Fournette injury. Still, he's not playing, so they had to get Carlos Hyde from Cleveland for a 5th-round pick. But Jacksonville is definitely going in the wrong direction, and it turned out to be one great year, and then the next year just a shit year. So coming from me in this matchup in London, I got to go with Carson Wentz and the Philadelphia Eagles to defeat the Jacksonville Jaguars. And now the original Sunday slate that starts at 10 a.m. here on the West Coast, 1 p.m. on the East Coast. It is an AFC West showdown between the Denver Broncos heading to Arrowhead to face the Kansas City Chiefs. Now the Denver Broncos are coming off their big win over the Arizona Cardinals on Thursday night, and it was not even a contest, folks. Case Keenum had a solid game with over 161 yards passing, a touchdown and a pick. Emmanuel Sanders had a receiving touchdown and a passing touchdown. And Philip Lindsay had 90 yards on the ground and 1 touchdown. And Denver's looking to knock off their AFC West rivals. The only other side is the Kansas City Chiefs coming off their big win at home over the Cincinnati Bengals on Sunday Night Football. Patrick Mahomes, another big game with, I think, 2+ touchdowns in that game. Kareem Hunt had a monster game with, if I remember right, 3 total touchdowns, 2 on the ground, 1 in the air, but I could be wrong. And that defense definitely got after Cincinnati, and this Kansas City team is looking really good in the AFC right now, especially in the AFC West. So coming from me in this AFC West showdown, I gotta stick with this Kansas City Chiefs team. This Chiefs team is really good, and when you got Patrick Mahomes II running the show in Kansas City, you can't go wrong with him. And he hasn't really made a lot of mistakes this season. So I'm gonna take the Kansas City Chiefs to defeat the Denver Broncos in maybe a blowout. And now the next matchup, it is an AFC North showdown between the Cleveland Browns heading to Heinz Field to face the Pittsburgh Steelers. Now, this is the rematch of their meeting in Week 1 where it ended in a tie. So this is the much anticipated rematch. Now, Cleveland is coming off their overtime loss to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers on Sunday. Baker Mayfield had a solid game even in a loss with 215 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. Nick Chubb, the former Georgia Bulldog, with 80 yards on the ground and a touchdown. Javar Landry and Njoku had both receiving touchdown, but they fell short in overtime to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And what else is new with the Browns? They always have a great fight, but they always fall short in the end. And Cleveland is looking to knock off the AFC North leading Steelers. Then on the other side, you have the Steelers coming off a bye in Week 7, so they're coming in fresh, they're coming in hot, and they're coming in definitely the top team in the AFC North. With every team in the North losing on Sunday, definitely the throne of the AFC North is belonging to the Pittsburgh Steelers. And with them coming back home at Heinz Field, they're looking to get a big-time win and avenge that tie that they had in Cleveland in Week 1. So coming from me in this AFC North showdown, man, I don't know if Cleveland will keep it close like the match in Week 1, but coming from me, I got to go with Ben Roethlisberger and the Pittsburgh Steelers to defeat the Cleveland Browns. And now the next matchup, it is an NFC East rivalry showdown between the Washington Redskins heading to Gotham to face the New York Giants. Now the Washington Redskins are coming off a big win over the Dallas Cowboys on Sunday at home. They got it done. Alex Smith with over 178 yards passing and a touchdown. Adrian Peterson, AP, with 99 yards on the ground. And Capri Bibbs with a receiving touchdown. Washington got a huge win over Dallas on Sunday, and they're looking to get another big win against another NFC East rival. Then on the other side of the New York Giants coming off their loss tonight to the Atlanta Falcons, they are not looking good. And I'm just going to say right now, the Giants are done if they stick with Eli Manning. They have so much talent on that team, like Odell Beckham Jr., like Saquon Barkley, who's having a fantastic year. But they're just looking like shit every week with Eli running the show. They need a new quarterback. Hell, maybe a new coach, because it's not working. So coming from me in this NFC East showdown, I'm going to take the Washington Redskins to defeat the New York Giants. And now the next matchup, it is the Seattle Seahawks heading to Ford Field to face the Detroit Lions. Now the Seattle Seahawks are coming off a bye in Week 7, so they're going to be coming in healthy, rested. We're going to see what Russell Wilson's got. We're going to see what Chris Carson, their defense, Doug Baldwin, their offensive line, looking to get a big-time win in the NFC. Then on the other side, you have the Detroit Lions coming off a big win over the Miami Dolphins on Sunday. Matthew Stafford had a fantastic game with 217 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. LeGarrette Blount with a rushing touchdown. Kenron Johnson with over 158 yards on the ground. And Michael Roberts with 48 yards and 2 touchdowns. And Detroit's looking to continue their definitely their hot streak and looking to win the NFC North. So coming from me in this showdown, man, Detroit's been looking really good, that is for sure. But coming from me, I'm going to stick with my second favorite team, the Seattle Seahawks, to defeat the Detroit Lions in a close one. And now the next matchup, it is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers heading to Cincinnati to face the Cincinnati Bengals. Now the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are coming off a big win in overtime over the Cleveland Browns on Sunday. But Jameis Winston once again did not look good. Even though he had 365 yards passing, he had a rushing touchdown, he had 2 picks. Mike Evans had over 107 yards receiving. Ronald Jones had a rushing touchdown, and Deshaun Jackson had a rushing touchdown as well. But this Tampa Bay team, even though they're putting up points, they're getting wins, it doesn't look good on Jameis Winston's part. I mean, yes, they nearly lost that game. They nearly blew a lead in the fourth quarter. And they're lucky they won this game by that field goal that I can't remember the field goal's kicker's name that missed the field goal in the fourth to win the game, but won it in overtime. But again, this Buccaneers team is so hard to predict. Every week they're sometimes good, and then the next week they're like really awful. But I don't know if they're going to stick with Jameis Winston. I bet you they will. But hopefully it will continue the success for the Buccaneers. Then on the other side of the Cincinnati Bengals coming off their destruction on Sunday Night Football, losing to the Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday night. They did not look good. Andy Dalton did not have his best game, and he got shredded by that Kansas City defense. So Cincinnati's looking to rebound and bounce back. So coming from me in this matchup, man, this one's so tough because it's hard to read Tampa Bay this season. Sometimes they win, sometimes they lose. But coming from me, I'm going to take Andy Dalton and the Cincinnati Bengals to rebound and bounce back and defeat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in a close one. And now the next matchup. It is the New York Jets heading to Soldier Field to face the Chicago Bears. Now the New York Jets are coming off their loss to the Minnesota Vikings on Sunday. Sam Darnold did not have his best game. 206 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 1 rushing, and 3 picks. I forget what his name is. He had 42 yards and a touchdown, and the Jets are looking to rebound and bounce back after their beat-down loss to the Vikings. The only other side of the Chicago Bears coming off their loss to my New England Patriots on Sunday and losing on the worst way to lose. A Hail Mary, and they were stopped at the 1-yard line. What a cruel twist of fate that was. But Mitchell Trubisky had a fantastic game, 333 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, 1 rushing, but 2 picks. Trey Burton with over 126 yards, I think rushing and a touchdown, and Jordan Howard with a rushing touchdown. But Chicago losing like that had to be heartbreaking. They gave our Patriots a fight. I will have to admit that. This Bears team is definitely on the rise for sure. So coming from me in this matchup, this is the battle between two top quarterbacks in the draft, Sam Darnold and Mitchell Trubisky. But coming from me, I'm going to take Mitchell Trubisky and the Chicago Bears to rebound and bounce back and defeat the New York Jets. And now the next matchup, it is the Baltimore Ravens heading to Charlotte to face the Carolina Panthers. Now the Baltimore Ravens are coming off their loss to the New Orleans Saints on Sunday, losing by a Justin Tucker field goal. He missed the extra point to tie the game. How crazy is that? And I remember a couple years ago in the divisional round against the New England Patriots, he missed a game-winning field goal. So this is not the first time Justin Tucker has missed a clutch field goal to win the game for the Ravens, and that definitely killed them. And he said to himself, I lost the game for the team. And losing like that is just the worst, especially for somebody who's so clutch like Justin Tucker is. And Baltimore's looking to rebound and bounce back. Then on the other side, you have the Carolina Panthers coming off their huge win over the Philadelphia Eagles on Sunday. Coming off and Cam Newton had his best game with 269 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. Devin Funchess, the former Michigan Wolverine, 62 yards receiving and a touchdown, and Greg Olsen with the game-winning touchdown in the fourth. And I know one of my subscribers, Kane Gaiman, who's a Carolina Panthers fan, has got to be happy that the Panthers got a big win here. So coming from me in this matchup, oh, man. We did see Lamar Jackson in that Baltimore game. He did get a rushing touchdown, but I'm still waiting for them to start Lamar Jackson because Baltimore is just not looking good this season. So coming from me, I'm taking Cam Newton and the Carolina Panthers to defeat the Baltimore Ravens in a close one. And now the next matchup, it is the Indianapolis Colts heading to the black hole to face the Oakland Raiders. Now, the Indianapolis Colts are coming off a blowout win over the Buffalo Bills on Sunday in a snores fest. Andrew Luck had his best game. What else is new against the Bills? 156 yards passing, 4 touchdowns. Marlon Mack with over 159 total yards with 2 touchdowns on the ground and 2 touchdowns with a rushing and a passing. T.Y. Hilton with a 25-yard receiving game and 2 touchdowns, and Indianapolis looking to get another big win in the AFC. Then on the other side, you have the Oakland Raiders coming off a bye in Week 7, so they're going to be coming in fresh. They're going to be coming in healthy. And the biggest question is, will they win their second game of the season, or will the nightmare on Gruden streak continue in Oakland? And I've heard a lot of rumors that they want to trade Amari Cooper, which would be crazy because Amari Cooper is a very talented player. He's just playing for a bad team right now. But he's on the trade block. I've heard that a lot in a rumor thing that they're trying to trade Amari Cooper before the NFL trade deadline. But Oakland's looking to get their second win of the season. So coming from me in this matchup, oh man, I just feel so bad for the Raiders. I mean, they pay John Gruden that much money and they only win one game. It's like I said, it's the nightmare on Gruden Street, and it's looking like a horror flick before Halloween. But coming from me, I'm taking Andrew Luck and the Indianapolis Colts to defeat the Oakland Raiders in maybe a blowout. And now the next matchup, it is an NFC West rivalry showdown between the San Francisco 49ers heading to Glendale to face the Arizona Cardinals. Now the 49ers are coming off their loss to the Los Angeles Rams on Sunday. They did not look good. C.J. Beathard only 170 yards passing, a touchdown and 2 picks. Kittle had a 98-yard receiving game and a touchdown. But this Niners team is definitely in shambles. Ever since the Garoppolo injury, this team has not been the same team. Even though they gave the Packers a fight last week on Monday Night Football, this Niners team is definitely on the downslide as soon as Garoppolo got hurt and done for the year. And the Niners are looking to rebound and bounce back. The only other side, you have the Arizona Cardinals who are coming off their blowout loss to the Denver Broncos on Thursday Night Football. They looked even worse. Josh Rosen with only 194 yards passing, 1 touchdown, 3 picks. Larry Fitzgerald with only 40 yards receiving and a touchdown. And this Arizona Cardinals team is not even better. I mean, this game is the battle of who's not going to be in last place in the NFC West, because they're both terrible. So coming from me in this NFC West showdown to see who will be not last in the NFC West. Oh man, I don't know. The Niners game against the Packers last week was good. I mean, Goodwin had a monster game receiving for the Niners. And Arizona is just not looking good this season. So coming from me, I may get this one wrong, but I'm going to take a risk. I'm going to take the San Francisco 49ers to defeat the Arizona Cardinals. And now the next matchup, it is the Green Bay Packers heading to Los Angeles to face the undefeated Los Angeles Rams. Now the Packers are coming off a bye in Week 7 after their big win in Week 6 over the San Francisco 49ers. And thanks to Mason Crosby, that happened. And the Packers are coming in rested, rebounding, and looking to knock off the only undefeated team left in the NFL. Then on the other side, you have the Los Angeles Rams coming off a monster win over the San Francisco 49ers. What else is new? And the Rams are coming in, the only undefeated team left in the NFL. Jared Goff had a monster game with 202 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. Todd Gurley, once again, the former Georgia Bulldog, with 3 total touchdowns, 2 on the ground, 1 in receiving. Brandon Cooks, a former Patriot as well, with a receiving touchdown. This Rams team is red hot. We're already in Week 8, and they're already 7-0, and they have not looked back. So coming from me in this matchup, man, this one's going to be good. Jared Goff versus Aaron Rodgers. Todd Gurley versus some of those great defensive players. You got Brandon Cooks, Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods. You got so many of those fantastic receivers. But coming from me, this Rams team is just unstoppable right now. I don't see maybe 1 or 2 teams beating the Rams this year. So coming from me, I'm taking the undefeated Rams to remain undefeated and defeat the Green Bay Packers in a close one. And now the Sunday night matchup, and this one's going to be a good one because it's the rematch of the highly anticipated NFC divisional matchup between the New Orleans Saints heading to Minneapolis to face the Minnesota Vikings. Now, we all know what happened in the divisional round last year, that Hail Mary out of nowhere with Stephon Diggs and winning the game for the Vikings and getting them to the NFC Championship. And the Saints have not forgotten that. They have been waiting for this moment to rectify and get their revenge against the Vikings. Now, the Saints are coming off a big win over the Baltimore Ravens in a close one. Drew Brees with over 212 yards receiving and 2 touchdowns. Alvin Kamara with 64 yards on the ground and a touchdown. Michael Thomas and Benjamin Watson with 2 receiving touchdowns. And this Saints team, like I said, is looking for revenge because everybody and their mamas thought they were going to win that game. But that crazy play for the Vikings to win. They are definitely looking for that revenge factor. Then on the other side, you have the Minnesota Vikings coming off their big win over the New York Jets on Sunday. Kirk Cousins had a solid game, 241 yards, 2 touchdowns. Latavius Murray with 69 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground. Adam Thielen once again with over 100 yards for the 7th game in a row and a receiving touchdown. This Vikings team is definitely the top team in the NFC North. They're looking to continue the winning ways. So coming from me in this NFC divisional rematch on Sunday Night Football, this one's going to be such a good one. This one's going to be a great matchup. Drew Brees versus Kirk Cousins. Kamara versus Latavius Murray. The receiving core of New Orleans against Thielen and some of those great Vikings players. And the defensive battle is going to be good. So coming from me, I'm going to go with the Minnesota Vikings to defeat the New Orleans Saints in a very close one on Sunday Night Football. And now in the Monday night matchup, it is an AFC East rivalry showdown between my New England Patriots heading to Orchard Park to face the Buffalo Bills. Now, the New England Patriots are coming off a squeaker win over the Chicago Bears. We nearly lost it. We nearly had that game tie up, but we stopped them at the 1-yard line to end the game. But the Patriots got a big win. We're in first place in the AFC East thanks to the Lions defeating the Dolphins. And Tom Brady had another fantastic game, 277 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, 1 pick. Josh Gordon with over 100 yards receiving. James White with 2 touchdowns. And Julian Edelman with a receiving touchdown. Well, now Sony Michel did get hurt, but we don't know what the injury is. But it does not sound good. And Rob Gronkowski did not play in this game as well. But New England's looking to continue their streak and get another big win in the AFC East. Then on the other side, you have the Buffalo Bills coming off their blowout loss to the Indianapolis Colts when they started backup to starter Derek Anderson. And he did not look good. 175 yards passing, 3 picks, no offense. Absolutely none from the Bills. And I'm just going to say right now, stick a fork in the Bills, they're done. And if they're starting a third-string quarterback against Tom Brady, this is going to be a massacre. This is going to be a massacre on Monday Night Football. People are going to be switching the channels to maybe Monday Night Raw or something on other television. But this could be a massacre if they start Derek Anderson or Nathan Peterman. So hopefully they'll start Josh Allen, but I don't think it will make a difference. So coming from me in this matchup on Monday Night Football, this one's going to be a bad blowout game. But Buffalo's definitely given us some tests last year. But I'm going to go with my New England Patriots to defeat the Buffalo Bills in a blowout. And those are my Week 8 NFL predictions. Now, I want to thank you guys so very much for watching this video today. Comment below, who do you have winning in Week 8? Do you see any upsets happening in this week's NFL season? And let me know who you got. As always, represent your NFL team. Let's have a conversation about it. Of course, I'm always on to see your comment, like it, and of course, reply right back to you because comments are absolutely always welcome on this channel. And I do want to thank you guys so very much for watching this video today. Now, before you guys go, you guys can never forget to do this. That like button, comment, share with your friends. Of course, super kick that like button like only you guys can. Of course, you can never forget to do this as well. That subscribe button, become part of this bigger and dangerous alliance. And I will see you guys next week for possibly a ton of videos. Possibly 5 big videos. Later days, guys, and peace.